This is Chico, California, known for being the home of Aaron Rodgers, the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and of course California State University, Chico. Chico is also home to 20,000 individuals living in poverty, nearly 900 of whom are homeless. Chico State is widely considered to be a party school, providing many of these people with can and bottle recycling as a primary or supplementary income. Many of these people have spent their entire lives hunting cans, traveling far and wide across the nation, living entirely off this meager source of cash. We set out on this documentary to try and find these people, gain their trust, and create a thorough ethnographic film documenting their lifestyles, social structures, and values. Seemed easy enough, but of course we found things never turn out the way they're intended. Although we did find Neil, or so we thought. Can recyclers make up a peculiar component of our society. They are highly visible, everyone sees them, yet at the same time they go largely unnoticed. Chico residents see them all the time. They can be found on weekend mornings clearing up after the prior night's parties, yet our knowledge of their actual place in society is extremely limited.
Honestly, I don't really know much about them.
I'm aware that some people do that for wholesale purposes.
I know I see them a lot after Saturdays and just kind of scoping out the trash cans a lot.
In Chico, no, nothing.
I don't know too much, but as far as like recycling in general, I think it's a pretty important thing.
I don't know much about them, but I do know they walk around after parties and collect cans for money.
We sought to change this. We wanted to learn as much as we could about these people and then present that newfound knowledge in this very documentary and share it with the world. We began at Chico Scrap Metal.
I'm Kim Scott. I'm the Environmental and Safety Coordinator for Chico Scrap Metal, our family business.
Kim gave us our first real insight into this underground world of alternative goals and values and different codes of conduct. The biggest difference between them and what many would consider normal would be an alternative definition of success and ways of achieving that success.
25, maybe 35% of our particular customers rely on this as a primary source of their income. So you ask me how responsible, I guess I have to think about what they believe their immediate need is. And if their immediate need is to go get a beer that costs $1.25, they're pretty responsible because they're going to get a beer, they're going to get their daily $1.25, and they're going to go meet their goal. And their goal is to get that beer. They're not worried about a roof over their head. They're not even worried about lunch at that point. Your soda cans, because they are supplemented by the California Redemption Program, they bring in $1.54 a pound. So we have folks that will bring in, honestly, 2 pounds. That's $3 and some change, and that sometimes gets them through their day. For lack of a better way to say it, they really live in the here and now, immediately what's going on right now.
This was a great start, but now we had to capture this in person and from their perspectives. Our original strategy was to drive the streets of Chico, and when we saw a can collector, to simply get out and talk to them. We were excited and enthusiastic, but a bit lacking in bravery. We did muster the courage to approach one man, but he promptly rejected us as soon as we mentioned a camera. Well, better luck tomorrow.
We gon' light it up like it's dynamite.
And you give, and you give yourself away. Without you, without you.
Well, so much for that. It was shortly after this point that we stumbled across a world even darker than that of can collecting. We met Jesse Desard, a professor of anthropology at Chico State University.
Initially, I just wanted gasoline for a pickup truck, and it was late at night, and I was looking for an open gas station. And for no particular reason, I noticed a sort of guy in the shadows, and he was trying to wave me down. And it turns out he wanted to go collect a bunch of scrap metal that he had stashed around West Berkeley.
He introduced us to scrapping. This was literally canning on crack.
He was a scrap metal recycler, primarily to make money to feed his drug habit. Rick was an active well, thief. He stole anything that he could get his hands on that was fungible. Urban hunter-gatherers of recyclable scrap in terms of cans and bottles, yeah, I think they're more visible, mainly because it's legal. And so the ones who are after larger amounts of money from more valuable types of scrap are going to be working in the shadows as much as possible.
A potential new topic to explore? Definitely not. Not only are scrappers even more elusive, we wanted to keep our dignity and safety intact. But we were still having no luck with actual canners. We knew how to find them, we just didn't know how to approach them. We saw no success in sight.
We would try to go out and kind of hunt for them, like crocodile hunter status. And I don't know, I think it made us nervous, and if I was a can collector walking around and I saw a car pull up and fucking try to talk to me, I'd be a little scared.
And suddenly, things changed. We were fed up with our cowardice and we went straight in. His name was Race, and he'd been collecting cans for almost a year.
All these items are not California redemption. See, like that?
Yeah.
Oh, see, but it says California redemption.
Right, right.
But we didn't say that right there because they don't say nothing right there.
Yeah.
You guys want a soda?
After the interview, we were thrilled to have finally spoken to someone. Our excitement was short-lived, however. We were dismayed to find that virtually all of our footage was unusable. Race's awkward, silent voice had been completely drowned out by the crashing of bottles at the recycling center.
Oh, wow.
Finally, a real interview down, but we were stuck in the same position as before. But then, we met Neil. We finally found a man who, after some persuasion, was willing to open up.
My story is it kept me from dangerous activities, like I was saying before, like guns, and I wouldn't say hunting or anything like that, but I'm glad I don't have a gun. I found myself pursuing my own businesses, and it started with recycling.
So why did you move to Chico?
I wouldn't say I moved. I just sort of am here. It's a college town. A lot of people coming in and out, new faces, and it's a very large city compared to what I'm used to. From where I'm from, it's only like 10,000 from where I'm from, and this is, I don't know how many people are in Chico, but this is a pretty large area. This is a big county.
We were really on a roll now. We drove right over to the Jesus Center and found yet another interview subject. Ralph was a drifter who had traveled the country on his bicycle, his journeys funded by his recycling.
You don't know that. I started when I was about 5 years old with my dad going to dumps and stuff. And then I started dumpster running when I become homeless and getting cans that way and then turning them in to make money to help make it. I just took a bike trip from Louisville, Kentucky to Kingman, Arizona, a bus to here from Kingman, and now I'm going on a trip from here to Ashland.
Would you say it's a kind of dangerous lifestyle?
Yeah, it can be. And the more as time goes on, the more it's going to get worse, you know. It's just like anything else. There's money to be made. More people are getting homeless. More people are getting jobless. So cans are going to be more valuable to more folks, you know. And then it's going to make it like gold was in the old days. You know, when they were gold hunters, you always heard about people getting killed and beat up, and their stuff stolen and all that. That's what's going to happen. It's happening more and more, you know, as time goes on.
But our minds kept flashing back to Neil. Something about him. He was reluctantly open, but we still seemed to be missing something from him. We saw him again at the Jesus Center later that week. He was present, yet still distant. I saw Neil for the last time when I was out driving. He was collecting some cans next to a Petco. I rushed home to get the camera and brought Courtney back with me, hoping maybe we could find him and perhaps he would let us follow him around as he collected. We drove all around the area, but he was nowhere to be seen. And it got me thinking about how little information we actually got from him. Who was he really? How did he manage to live like this for so many decades? What really drove him? And then I realized right then, we never found Neil.